how pretty you're sitting. You're sitting so pretty. Boop. Hey, Coop. Look at the new floor. New floor. New floor. It's awesome. I love it. We just got this installed the other day. It is amazing compared to what we used to have. Absolutely amazing. Do you approve, Cooper? So tonight's Friday night and I am going to be streaming to the moon in like an hour and a half. And I have pizza coming in about an hour. And John's stuck on the highway for probably an hour. So I have this like current free time to, I don't know, probably do chores and whatnot, get laundry started and all that shit. But not a hell of a lot going on, honestly. Just getting into the weekend and trying to enjoy myself. I have concluded that I'm going to try to stream every Friday now. So weekly, which I think will be amazing and difficult at the same time. I think there's going to be some occasions where I'm going to have to take like a week off, which won't be a big deal. But for the most part, we like do nothing as far as on Friday nights. Usually we're just like playing games or whatever. Speaking of games, I bought a bunch of games on the Steam sale and I plan on playing through a lot of them, including Portal, Psychonauts, Alan Wake, a bunch of stuff. So that is something to look forward to for the games. And next weekend, Splatoon, or no, this weekend? No, next weekend, Splatoon 2 has their Splatfest demo, and then towards the end of the month, the actual game's coming out. So I have a feeling by that point, we'll probably be streaming Splatoon 2. So John and I will probably be playing it. I don't know if we're going to have to hand off or if there's some kind of local play as far as like the Splatfest is concerned, because we only have one Switch. So kind of a problem with the game consoles, because he plays a lot of video games, I play a lot of video games, and a lot of times the system that we want to play on or whatever we want to work on, we have to kind of like negotiate and say, okay, well, I'll work on the Switch, you do the PlayStation 4, or like, you know, vice versa. So I have a feeling at some point in the future that's probably going to change. I don't know if we're going to end up getting like two systems. So at least another PlayStation 4 we're considering, because I play a lot of PlayStation 4 games. Between PC and PlayStation 4, I kind of main in those departments. Not main, but you know what I'm talking about. But I haven't even had the opportunity to try out any more Friday the 13th or any more of Overwatch since the new map or anything. And there's a new character that's currently like in beta right now. So like I'm missing out a lot of shit. But I have decided that I am going to be making some serious life changes. What I mean by that is, you guys obviously know by watching the vlogs and everything that's going on in my life that, you know, I need to improve stuff because I'm not happy where I am. And I don't know if it's like a personal kind of vendetta that I have, because at 30, I felt like I was going to be in a completely different direction than I was. So I might be rambling and not really making sense. But basically, I pictured at this point in my life that I would have a much more successful job, that I would be a lot more happier, whatever. So like part of that is probably mainly due to me not pushing myself harder and not actually going in the direction that I want to go, because a lot of it is controlled entirely by me. You know, it's no like freak destiny. It's nothing set in stone. You know, there was nothing like drawn out in the clouds when I was born. You know, things aren't going to be handed to me on a silver platter. I have to work hard for them. And that being said, and all of the situations that are going on in my life, I've decided to give myself a goal, a 6-month goal to achieve. And it's only a couple of things. One major thing is in the next 6 months, I want a new job. I don't care what it is, if it's in my field or not. I mean, obviously I'm going to be pursuing graphic design, so I'm going to be looking in my best interest into that department first. But if I do not find a graphic design position by 2018, I will take anything. I will work in a grocery store, whatever. I'm trying to get out of the stigma of, not a stigma, what's the word that I want to use? I don't know. There is a word for it. I can't think of it this moment. I sound like an idiot, but there is this fear that I kind of have that when I'm looking for a job, I'm looking for one for keeps. I'm looking for one that is indefinitely everything that I'm looking for. And I shoot down anything that is not even remotely close. So therefore, I easily look over jobs that are like full-time opportunities, like in a grocery store, because I'm like, nope, I'll hate it. I can't stand it. I can't do this. But like, I also feel like the fear also comes from the fact that my last retail job I stayed at for 8 years. I was miserable for probably about 4 or 5 of those 8 years. But I'm afraid of taking a job in fear of it being awful and me hating it. But I have to remind myself that it's not forever. Like, if I don't like the job, I can just leave the job. There's nothing stopping me from leaving the job except me. So I have to get a new job. I have to get a new position, doing something somewhere. So that's goal number 1. Goal number 2 is I want to learn web design, and possibly, depending on how I feel about web design, because I guess web design is more of like the graphic design side of like web, you know, kind of development thing. But then I want to actually learn web development, possibly, which is like the coding and the actual like raw design of websites. So that's something that I'm considering going into. And then I think only 1 goal is left. So 3 is I want to lose 20 pounds by January 2018. So those are my 3 things to do in the next 6 months. And I'm going to pursue them as hard as I can and just kind of live as casually and as stress and carefree as possible, because it's healthier for me. Like, I can't keep complaining and whining and feeling depressed and everything about everything going wrong in my life, and just sit there and expect everything to just suddenly turn around like, you know, like a lottery or something. Like, oh my God, all this luck just arrived. It's not going to happen. So I have to take matters into my own hands and do it myself. I don't know how well it'll go. I'm not obviously promising things are going to absolutely happen, but I'm keeping those goals in mind because I would like to accomplish them in the next couple months. And I'm hoping I can accomplish them and then set additional goals for myself to accomplish in another 6 months or whatever. So that's kind of where I am right now. So I don't know, as far as job, what I'm going to be getting. I've even considered freelancing and contract jobs, so I'm looking into stuff like that. I am very upset that I don't live in Illinois because Pusheen Corp was hiring graphic designers. Ugh! So just my luck. But that's where I am right now. So I am probably going to do some stuff because I got dishes and I'm standing on this wonderful new floor because new floor! And yeah, so I'm going to wait for John to get home and pizza to get here soon and have hopefully an incredibly awesome stream tonight and increase my streams. So my goal is to do streaming every Friday on Twitch and YouTube, and at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time, and you know, there, like I said, there might be some changes depending on the week or what's going on, whatever. Maybe some streams will be later than others, and gradually, not sure how fast, but gradually work my way into streaming a little bit more, because it's so much easier, because everything just kind of like is there, and then all I have to do is just kind of like upload it. Well, actually, even with now that I have it on YouTube, I could just have it on YouTube. So that's kind of what's going on. So yeah. Right, Coop? So yeah? He's like, there's no food, I am dying. But you are getting dinner in like a couple hours, so you're okay. You'll be fine. You'll live. Trust me. I did it. I finally came down here to work out. I did it. I'm dead. Really dead. So today, on July 10th, 2017, I re-begin my journey to get back down to the weight that I almost met with my goal, which means that I have 62 pounds to lose to get to that goal. It is going to be a long and grueling journey, but today I started it really small. It's really weird to talk with these in my ears, but I started it really small. I only did 20 minutes on this, and then I did the weight ball, which is here, right there. And then I just threw on some music, and I just bounced around the basement like an idiot, and I'm dead. But it is about 9:52 right now. I gotta go upstairs and feed the kitties. But I wanted to touch base and say that Friday I did a successful stream. I completed To the Moon. It was really sad, really kind of depressing, but like such a unique and cool RPG Maker game. And apparently there's DLC, which I'll probably be playing this upcoming Friday, because now I am streaming every week. And everyone seems to be excited about it, so hooray! Yay, excitement. But I'm gonna go upstairs now, and I'm gonna get some fluids in my body and probably sit down for like 10 minutes so I don't fall over and die. Sore morning is very sore. It's usually the first couple of mornings after a workout, well, first couple of days really, is when it's the worst, because you go from like never working out to working out every day or every other day, and every muscle, every body part just hurts. But it's not like the kind of pain that is excruciating or unbearable. It's just kind of like the, all right, I worked out a lot kind of pain, which I'm okay with, but it just sucks to get up, because mornings are hard enough as it is without being sore. So really quick, because I'm going to be leaving for work shortly, but last night I decided to apply for a remote job. It pays a little bit more than what I'm currently making, and even though it's only advertised as like a 3-month contract, I decided what the hell, because the business is like in Idaho, and it was for a graphic design internship. I don't know how the hell internships work via remote, but I thought it was interesting that I applied, and then immediately after I applied I got an email, and then the email was like a proofreading test, which I had never ever taken before. And it was like a 10-minute proofreading test, you know, kind of intimidating, kind of like, oh God, because they want a test to make sure that you can check for like grammar issues, for like, you know, typos and stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, oh God, I am no editor. So I was going into it with very low expectations. And then after I began it and I started doing it, I was like, oh wow, this is really easy, because it's like they give you a sentence, but they give you like the correct version of your, so then you have to correct it to the, you know, instead of like Y-O-U-R, you have to correct it to Y-O-U apostrophe R-E kind of thing. I was like, oh, this is really fucking easy. Like, this is like basic, like, English high school shit. I guess they're just trying to make sure that you're not a complete idiot when it comes to grammar. So I guess that's a good thing. But I just thought it was really funny, like, you know, am I applying for graphic design, or do you want me to type emails? But I figured, what the hell, what's the worst that can happen is that the job is a fluke and I turn it down or whatever. So I decided to try to apply for it and see what happens. I am aiming towards remote jobs for the meantime, solely because if I can work remotely, that means I can eliminate the wear and tear on my car, and that way I can work and I can save up a little bit more money, because gas and car expenses is like the main thing that's killing me, aside from, you know, almost minimum wage payment when it comes to doing my job, which also sucks. But when you commute 60 miles a day and, you know, your car needs like $800+ of repair, it sucks. It sucks. And you go through expenses like that. I wish I could go back in time and tell myself, don't do it, but I did it. And here we are. So I'm just kind of trying to apply for anything and see what happens. I might get something out of it, or I might not. I'm also trying to put up a business again. Years ago, I started a business called Cat's Designs and Crafts. And since then, there's like 14 other businesses called Cat's Designs and Crafts, spelled exactly the same way. I was like, what the fuck? So then I started thinking, well, maybe I can abbreviate. Maybe I can do KDC. No, there's already a KDC. Like, like every abbreviation that I could think of so far of a business name, even like my original full name, you know, like an abbreviation of like my first and last name, or like my, you know, letter abbreviation of all my names, everything's taken. I'm like, what the fuck? So now what I'm leaning towards is more like Gamer Cat Designs or something, because that's something that's original and not taken. Like, nobody does Gamer Cat Designs. Like, yeah, so that's what I'm going through. But right now I have to get ready for work, because I gotta go there. I gotta do that shit for this week. So we'll talk more later. Don't worry, we'll be right back. What in the world am I getting myself into today, right? So I was at the grocery store today and I saw this and I thought, that looks pretty cool and neat to do. So I figured, why not give it a go? So that's what I'm going to attempt to do. So I'm kind of curious, as well as like skeptical that it'll work, but at the same time, what's wrong with having fun hair, right? So it was about 10 bucks for that. And then if everything goes successful with that, I'm gonna try this, which is it's called Indigo, and looks pretty cool. I thought the back looked pretty cool for ombre, so I figured I would try that out, but only if this works. So this is kind of like a test, because if I can't get my hair bleached properly, then this is probably not going to happen. But I thought it was pretty cool that they started selling these in grocery stores. At least it's got to be pretty new, because I've never seen or heard of it. But I've always wanted to color my hair, and I never really went as far as actually like doing anything like this before. I mean, other than like box dyes, because like the last hair color that I colored was, in fact, that one, which was about maybe like 3 or 4 months ago. I dyed it in March, so it's been since March. It is now July, and I've always wanted to dye my hair like a color. I know in 2017. It seems really cliche to say that because it seems like everybody on God's green earth wants to dye their hair color, but I've wanted to. And a couple years ago, I actually tried and it didn't work out very well. Then again, I also followed one of those shitty tutorials where they promise you that you don't have to bleach your hair in order to make it purple, and guess what? You still do. So I ended up wasting an entire like $25 tube of purple for it to not work. So I figured, what could go wrong? Worst case scenario, I have to bleach my head or dye it back to brown or something. It shouldn't be too hard. But it is currently about 8 o'clock and I'm gonna get started. So this is about almost halfway through the process, and it's kind of working, kind of. Like, I can tell by looking like here, if you look here in this area, it is kind of working. Like, it is lightening it. I'm trying to let it sit as much as possible because I'm reading reviews saying it doesn't work and it makes my hair bronze, but it's like, but they do tell you in the instructions, if you read them, that to come back in, check it, reapply if needed, whatever. But it is lightening, so I will probably keep coming in maybe every 5 or 10 minutes and just reapplying more of the stuff on my head, because as you can see, I have quite a bit left of this. And they give you an applicator, they give you gloves, the scissors are mine, they don't give you scissors, but they give you all the stuff. So it is working. But I'll just keep at it, and then hopefully the finished result will be awesome. And the result is orange. So, a couple things is, one, it actually did work. And I guess you could say it kind of worked as I kind of expected it to work once I realized it was working. So when I was following the box directions were like, leave it on between 30 and 45 minutes. I feel like this didn't even start working until after 30 minutes. So I kept coming back in and checking it every 5 minutes, kept reapplying as needed. And by the time that I was showing you guys, it was actually starting to work after the half-hour mark. And then at 45 minutes, it seemed like it was still working. But I was afraid to continue any further than 45 minutes because I was calculating, well, you know, I originally started putting the stuff in my hair around 8, and then I didn't finish applying it all on my head until 8:30, you know, so then here I was at like 9:15, and I'm like, oh God, I don't want to leave it on too long because I don't know if they count the time that you actually started applying or not, because I thought, oh God, it's been on forever. But I feel like I could have easily got away with like the hour mark and it would have probably worked 100% because I had so much left over. But I was afraid the hair gods would strike me with lightning or something, or something bad would happen to my hair if I left it in too long, because I've never done this before to myself. But it does work. Now the only downside is I will probably have to get a second box of that ombre stuff to try a second time a different day, and then try to see if I can get it even lighter, which should be easier now because my hair is actually kind of lighter. Because at this stage, I'm not going to be able to put color in it. So that's fine. And then I also fucked up with the rinsing part of it, like the washing rinsing part of it. So they give you this tube of like this special conditioning shampoo. And it threw me off because when I've colored my hair in the past, they usually give you a bottle of conditioner. So that way you would wash with like a color shampoo and then you would use their special conditioner and your hair is super soft. And then this in turn gives you a special bottle of conditioning shampoo, which I don't know why at the time my head was like, it's both in one. So instead of using my like normal like shampoo and then conditioning routine, I just shampooed with their shampoo and then just stopped. So my hair is like really super dry and frizzy today because I have no conditioner in it. So I threw in some product in my hair so that way the humidity doesn't kill it too much. But I know it's not the bleach that's damaged my hair, even though it looks like the back, like the end of my hair is frizzy and brittle, because it actually feels like that from like here down, and I didn't do anything to this part of my head. So I know it's just the way my hair is, because my hair texture goes from like super dry afro into like a crazy curly mess, and there's no in between. So I feel like the next time I do it, I think I will actually condition instead of just skip the condition. In fact, tonight when I get home, I might just rewash my hair and condition it the way that I need to. But it does work. It does technically work, and I really have no complaints about it. I followed the instructions. I feel like I should have left it on longer, but I'm kind of glad I didn't, because I wasn't sure what would happen. Because when your hair is wet, it's really hard to see how it's working. So you don't really know if, you know, it is getting bleached too much or not. So I didn't want it to like fall off. Not like it would be a big deal, because I'm the kind of person, if at that point I would buzz my head and I wouldn't have any regrets to it. But yeah, so that's where I am. And I'm sorry I'm holding this incorrectly, because it's, you know, not even 8 in the morning, and it's really hard to do this, but I wanted to show you guys. So that's about it. Tomorrow's Friday, another stream day, and in the future I will be redoing my hair. I'm still working out. I worked out again last night, but didn't really go too well last night, because I still haven't had the time to like sit down and like put music on my MP3 player and stuff. So like it's really hard to get into it. And some other stuff with our exercising equipment, which I'll have to get into at another time. But thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed so far, and hopefully the next time I see you, I will actually attempt to do my hair correctly. Take care, have a great night, great day, great weekend, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.